Hello my darling wastelanders, and welcome to a tips video. I am going to explain my rule of 6. And by the way, this is just a ridiculous way to show off my title, The Rule of 6. I got a little carried away, you'll have to forgive me. It started out as just a wall, and I was like, well, let's put floors, and let's put this, and let's put that, and it just got ridiculous. So forgive my overabundance in this area. Okay, now the rule of 6, I was trying to figure out the best way to go about setting up my towns when I first started the game. And this is what I came up with. Alright, okay, and here we are in the daylight. I decided to try and make it daylight. I started to record at night, and all of them you can't see very well at night. So, let's determine which size settlement you need. Now, I would recommend taking a list of your settlements. Just list all the names and then decide what kind of settlement you want it to be given the location it's at. Coastal Cottage being one of the smaller ones, and Sanctuary Hills or the Co-op or Abernathy Farm being one of the larger ones. Alright, for small, we have approximately 6 people. Now, some of them you'll want to keep small, and other people will come in. I found it extremely hard to keep under 9 people at Covenant. But small towns, approximately 6. So you'll start with 1 farmer, obviously, because you need 6 food to feed everybody. So that's 1 person. 1 person to run a bar, and 1 person to be your purveyor. Now I just threw this out, and that's daggum Brahmin started getting in my way while I was trying to do the lettering on that, and really pissed me off. Anyway, and then 1 defense over here. Well, 1 defensive structure. I've got 1 settler, and it gives you, let's say, I think it's 2 defense, and they can run 3 posts because they can do 6 items, so they can run 3 of these posts with 1 settler. So that will give you a 6 defense. And of course, the 1 scrapper. So that gives you 1 extra person, and you can make them a scrapper, or you can plant, a few more plants and put them as a farmer. You could put, instead of just a bar, you could also have a general store. General store would help you out if you're planning on buying there, but if you're not planning on buying there, as far as the money you'll get off of it, since there are only 6 people in this town, you won't pull in a whole lot of money. I wouldn't recommend wasting it. I would put them as a scrapper. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That cow's ass is all up in my way, ruining my demonstration. And you too. Alright, next we have medium towns. Medium towns are smallish areas where you're going to get a good resource. Counting Crossing for me was one of them. It was originally going to be a small town for me, and then I found out it had a water purifier area there, so I changed it. Now with this recent DLC, you can put those smaller water purifiers out, so that might change the size of some of my settings. My settlements. Good heavens. Sorry folks, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, medium towns, 12 to 18 people. Now, I've got set out for 12 people. I wasn't going to go 2 different setups. But we've got all the plants. It will take 2 farmers. So there's 2 of your people, plus 1 bar, and she was just wandering around, so I stuck her on there. 1 purveyor, and then 1 scavenger. I put 1 scavenger in every town. And in this one I put 2. And of course, this one, 1 settler to 3 posts. So actually this represents 3 posts for this 1 settler, and 3 posts for this other settler, giving you, what is that? 6 and 6, 12. Yay, we can do math. 12 defense. And then you've got 5 extra people to work with. So you can either make it a scrapping town, a vending town, or a farm. And this one would actually work out with the vendors, because the settlement size is okay, so you'll get like 500, possibly 1,000 caps from it. So I would recommend, yes, possibly doing a vendor for this section, or extra farming. And then let's go over to the other setup. Rule of 6. Okay, and large, I've got 24 to, I don't know how many people. And I say 24 because there is a way to get 24 people to your settlement. Boosting charisma with either your apparel, or drugs, or of course the bobblehead, gives you more than the 20 settlers that you can originally get. And there are plenty of videos out there, so I'm not going to get into that. But I've got 24 to however many people you can actually manage to draw. Now this setup is based on the 24. So we've got all of the farmers, which is 4 farmers to do the 24. We've got 1 purveyor and 1 scrapper, because I always put a scrapper. And then I've got the 1 bar. And this time, 3 possibly would need to do 4 on security. That's just a personal option. Most of my security is based around turrets anyway, so I don't actually put very many people in these. It's just kind of an idea. But of course, in this instance too, one person can run 3 of these. So it's all up to you on how many you want to put out, and plus you also have 14 extra people running around doing nothing. And you can have them scrap, vend, farm, or any combination of the above. I would say pick one large area to be a scrapping town, one large area to be a vending town, and one large area to be a farming town. Abernathy Farm is a good place for the farm, the vendors, either Sanctuary or the co-op. I would say the castle, but it's so hard to build in the castle. For me, anyway, I found it extremely hard. And as you can see, we are currently in my scrapping town. So that is always an option too. And of course, you can mix and match. That way you've got a little bit of each inside your bigger towns. But if you're thinking about conserving your resources, and yes, Dance, we needed your ass all up in this picture in order to make it complete. Could you please move? No, of course not. Anyway, in order to conserve your resources, deem each town according to the size that you want it, either small, medium, large, how many people you want in there. That way when you set up only the amount of beds, and that way whenever you go into your, let's pull up my data and go to my workshops, and you see Abernathy Farm is currently glitching. I do apologize for that. Let's actually do one that I've kept at the right amount. Alright, Croup Manor is one of my medium towns. It's got 18 beds, which means I can have 18 people. I've already got it set up. Everything is there. I put out enough scrapping stations, water, and everything for that amount of people. And I guess something is damaged because it's only pulling 12 water. But that's neither here nor there because I've kind of been ignoring them when they call for my help. But anyway, the number of beds tells me how many people I have assigned to that town. That way, when I'm going to a settlement and they've gotten too many people, I know where I can send them. Just by glancing at this, I made 18 beds. I've got enough there to sustain 18 people, so I can send 2 more people from another town to this town, and it'll be set. Let's see. Finch Farm I haven't done anything with. I've got 20 beds in Grey Gardens, which means I can actually hold 20 people. I've got enough resources for 20 folks. Now, mind you, whenever I first started this out, I went from having my basic towns to enlarging all my towns, so this isn't my basic run anymore. Even my smaller towns have kind of gotten huge. But you get the point. Just by glancing at this, it's a quick reference on how many you can actually have in that town, like this one. And I do usually put 1 extra bed just for whenever I come in there. I don't want to sleep in anybody else's bed. So this one is a 6-person town. And right now I've got 5 food. That's another thing. It says that they can do 5 things, but typically your settlers will be fussy and not pick up 1 additional thing. They don't want to do all 6 of the food, especially if you lay out different types of food. They don't want to pick up all 6 that they can do. And one of your other settlers will try and come over and pick up the extra. It might take reassigning them several times to get them to do what they're supposed to do. Tin Man needs a heart. God, all up in my space. Anyway, as you can see, Scrapping Town, this one has 14 scrapping stations. And I've got the 1 bar. And I've got all my farmers over here. So this one was definitely considered a large group. When I came in here, the first thing I did was throw out the farms. I knew exactly how many I needed and how many plants I needed and what types of plants I wanted. I would recommend only using moot fruit here though, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. I have such a hard time trying to keep them assigned to what they're supposed to do because that half a point in food messes them up. But on your larger farm towns, that's when you should really mix up the veggies. That way you can still get that adhesive. And if you're playing survival mode, you'll need the food anyway. And that is pretty much it. If I've missed anything, y'all let me know in the comments. But this has been my rule of 6. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I can't think of it right now. If I do, I'll probably bleep it in at some point. Anyway, thank you for watching. Come and follow us on Twitter. My tweeting handle, my Twitter handle, however you say that, is more to me underscore for life. Come and have a conversation with us, see what's going on, some of the recent builds, and just all around crazy conversations anyway. But y'all have a wonderful